God is sending a final warning. A tragedy is on its way to your house, and if you don't act now, it will be too late to stop it. So listen to God now before it's too late. I am calling you at this very moment because danger is moving closer than you realize. And if you scroll away, you may miss the instruction that will shield your home from loss and heartbreak. I am not speaking to frighten you, but to awaken you, because what is approaching can still be stopped if you obey my voice without delay. Do not treat this lightly, for what I am revealing now is tied to your safety, your peace, and the protection of those you love. If you believe that I am warning you out of love, then comment, Amen. I am sending this final warning because there are choices unfolding around you that are opening a door to sorrow, and I will not allow you to walk blindly into pain without trying to stop you. A tragedy is on its way to your house means that the path you are currently on, or the company you are keeping, or the habit you are ignoring, is creating a chain of events that can end in devastation. This is not fate written in stone, because I am still speaking, and my voice means there is still time. If you listen carefully and act quickly, what seems certain can be overturned by my power. Within the next few moments, I will show you what must change, but you must stay attentive because every instruction matters more than you understand right now. I need you focused, not distracted, because the smallest act of obedience can block the largest storm. Before you go any further, press like on this video as a sign that you receive this warning with a serious heart and that you are willing to stand with me in obedience. Your response shows me that you are not brushing this aside but choosing to guard your house. The tragedy I speak of is not random chaos falling from the sky, but a result of ignored red flags and silenced convictions that I have already placed inside you. I have whispered to you about a person whose presence drains your peace, yet you continue to welcome them into your inner circle. I have nudged your spirit about a decision that feels rushed and unstable, yet you keep telling yourself everything will somehow work out. I am telling you clearly now that if you do not pause and correct these steps, the consequences will reach your doorstep. You have felt the uneasiness in your chest when certain conversations happen, and that feeling is not anxiety without cause, but my spirit alerting you. You have sensed that something is off in your home, whether in relationships, finances, or hidden tensions that no one talks about openly. I am exposing this because I love you, and I refuse to watch you suffer when a simple act of surrender can redirect your future. My warning is proof that you are not abandoned, but deeply cared for. Act now means close. The door that I have shown you is unsafe. Act now means withdraw from the agreement that does not carry my peace. Act now means pray over your house, remove what invites darkness, and seek reconciliation where pride has built walls. When you choose obedience, you are not acting alone, because my strength moves with you and surrounds your home like a shield. Do not wait for visible disaster before you decide to take me seriously. By the time the storm is obvious to everyone, it may already be too late to prevent damage. I am speaking while there is still a window of mercy open over your house. That window will not remain open forever, because delayed obedience slowly becomes disobedience. There is a pattern forming around you, and if you continue ignoring it, it will tighten its grip. I see conversations that are leading toward betrayal. I see financial decisions that could place unbearable strain on your household. I see emotional wounds that are festering and turning into bitterness that could fracture your family if left untreated. I am not telling you this to make you afraid of every step you take, but to guide you into wisdom and protection. When I warn you, it is because I have already prepared a way of escape. There is a safer path, and I am inviting you to walk it with me before the consequences of the current path unfold. If you trust that I am protecting you even now, Comment 777. The tragedy can be cancelled, but only if you humble yourself and respond quickly. Pride will whisper that you are overreacting and that nothing serious will happen. Distraction will tell you to think about this later when you have more time. I am telling you that later may not exist in the way you expect, because the seeds being planted today can bear bitter fruit very soon. Go into your home and pray aloud instead of keeping your faith silent. Speak peace into rooms where tension lingers. Remove influences that pull your heart away from my guidance. Distance yourself from conversations that stir anger, jealousy, or reckless ambition. I want you to understand that my warning is also a declaration that you are chosen and worth saving. If I did not care, I would allow events to unfold without interruption. Instead, I am interrupting your routine to redirect your destiny. That is not punishment, but protection wrapped in urgency. Your house is meant to be a place of joy and safety, not a stage for regret and mourning. I desire laughter in your rooms, unity at your table, and rest in your nights. The approaching tragedy is a shadow trying to claim space that belongs to my light. Stand with me now, and that shadow will lose its power. You have noticed how certain arguments repeat themselves, how the same tension keeps circling back even after promises are made. That repetition is a warning sign, not just a personality difference or a bad mood. When conflicts are ignored instead of healed, they harden hearts and create cracks in the foundation of your household. If those cracks widen, the weight of pressure from outside forces can cause everything to collapse at once. Why are neuroscientists obsessed with a 9-word sentence? Because this sentence, spoken once a day, is turning financial stress into sudden blessings. More than 19,000 people have already used it to erase debt and unlock a life of wealth, freedom, and peace. The results are so powerful, some believe it's divine. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. There are also unseen influences pressing against your peace, and you have felt them in quiet moments when your mind refuses to rest. These influences come through environments and relationships that do not honor my presence. When you allow negativity to remain unchecked, it becomes comfortable and eventually destructive. I am urging you to cleanse your space, both physically and spiritually, so that what is dark finds no place to attach itself. This tragedy is not limited to one area, because the enemy of your peace looks for any opening. It can enter through careless words that wound someone deeply. It can enter through financial decisions made in desperation rather than prayer. It can enter through secrets that grow heavier each day they are hidden. I want you to sit with me in stillness and examine what you have been avoiding. Think about the person you keep giving chances to, even though their actions keep hurting your household. Think about the responsibility you keep postponing because facing it feels overwhelming. The tragedy gains momentum through avoidance, and it slows down when truth is faced directly. You are not powerless in this moment, even if you feel small against what seems to be building. I have given you discernment, and that discernment is sharper than you realize. The unease you feel is not weakness but awareness. When you act according to that awareness, you step into my protection in a deeper way. I need you to guard your words carefully in the coming days. Words spoken in anger can ignite fires that burn longer than you expect. Words spoken in fear can create decisions that pull your house into chaos. Choose restraint, choose prayer, and choose patience over reaction. You must also protect your finances with wisdom. If you have been tempted to make a risky move out of pressure or comparison, pause and seek my guidance. Debt, misplaced trust, or careless agreements can bring strain that tests every relationship under your roof. The tragedy I am warning you about may wear the mask of opportunity at first, but its outcome carries sorrow if you rush forward blindly. There is someone around you whose influence is subtle but heavy. Their presence shifts the atmosphere in ways you cannot fully explain. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with them, because your spirit senses what your mind tries to ignore. Distance is not cruelty when it is necessary for protection. Do not let guilt keep you tied to situations that are harming your household. Love does not require you to sacrifice your peace for the comfort of someone who refuses to change. I am teaching you that boundaries are not rejection but wisdom. When you set them firmly and calmly, you close doors that tragedy tries to enter through. I also see exhaustion in you, and exhaustion makes it harder to recognize danger. When you are tired, you lower your guard and accept what you would normally question. Rest is not laziness but strength, because a clear mind discerns better than a weary one. Take time to restore yourself in my presence so that you are alert and steady. The warning I am giving is firm because the stakes are high, but my heart toward you is gentle. I am not condemning you for what you have overlooked. I am calling you higher so that your house stands secure. Every instruction I give is rooted in love that refuses to watch you suffer unnecessarily. Pray over each room in your home and invite my peace to settle there. Speak forgiveness where bitterness has been allowed to linger. Address the conversations that need honesty instead of pretending everything is fine. These steps may feel uncomfortable, but they will disarm what is trying to grow in the shadows. If you receive this correction as protection and not as criticism, comment 1212. You must understand that tragedy often begins quietly before it becomes loud. It begins with small compromises that seem harmless at first. It begins with ignoring instincts that are meant to guide you. It begins with allowing fear to make decisions instead of faith. Faith is not denial of reality, but trust in my direction. When you align your choices with my guidance, outcomes shift in ways that defy expectation. I can stop what is coming, but I will not override your will. Your cooperation invites my intervention. There may be conversations you need to have that you have been postponing for months. Speak calmly and honestly without accusation. Clear misunderstandings before they become permanent divisions. Your willingness to initiate healing can prevent a rupture that would otherwise wound everyone involved. Watch what enters your home through media, through conversations, and through attitudes. What you repeatedly expose yourself to eventually shapes your thinking and behavior. Replace what feeds fear and conflict with what strengthens unity and hope. I am not asking for perfection, but for intentional choices. Do not underestimate the power of daily prayer over your household. Consistency builds a shield that repels unseen threats. Even short moments of sincere connection with me shift the atmosphere more than long hours of worry. Invite me into your decisions before they become emergencies. The tragedy I warned you about is not greater than my power. It is only greater than your strength when you try to handle everything alone. Lean on me, and I will steady you when emotions rise and pressure increases. My presence in your house changes outcomes that once seemed inevitable. You are not hearing this by accident. I am speaking because I have already seen the crossroads ahead. One path leads to regret that could have been avoided. The other leads to peace secured through timely obedience. Do not let pride convince you that you can manage without adjustment. Humility will save you from pain that arrogance invites. When you admit where you need to change, you create space for my grace to move. This banned wealth signal was hidden in a government vault for over 70 years until now. It's a simple 9-word brain trigger used by elites to attract unlimited money while the rest of the world struggles. But the moment too many people see this, it could be deleted. Click the link in the description and comments before it's taken down forever. If you act now, you will look back later and realize that what could have broken your house never even reached your door. You will see how a simple decision, made in alignment with my voice, altered the entire direction of events. That is how protection works when it is embraced rather than ignored. I am still giving you time, and that time is a gift. Use it wisely, because gifts can be squandered when taken for granted. I am calling you to alertness, to courage, and to trust. There is a habit in your life that seems private and contained, yet its effects ripple further than you admit. It may be anger that flares too quickly, spending that exceeds wisdom, or silence when truth should be spoken. These patterns may feel manageable now, but left unchecked, they can create fractures that split your household in ways that feel sudden. I am urging you to confront that habit directly and surrender it to me before it becomes the spark that ignites something far more destructive. You must also pay attention to the emotional atmosphere in your home. Words left unsaid build tension that eventually erupts without warning. When disappointment is buried instead of addressed, it turns into resentment that poisons connection. I want you to create space for honest dialogue, not with shouting or accusation, but with humility and patience. The tragedy approaching your house could manifest as a broken relationship that once felt unshakable. It could appear as financial strain that exposes weaknesses you refuse to acknowledge. It could show itself as a sudden separation born from years of unspoken hurt. None of these outcomes are beyond my ability to prevent, but they require your willingness to act now. Do not ignore the voice inside you that tells you something must change. That inner conviction is my spirit guiding you towards safety. When you silence it repeatedly, you dull your discernment and open the door wider. When you respond to it quickly, you strengthen your protection. You may feel tempted to blame others for the instability you sense. It is easier to point outward than to examine inward, but true strength begins when you ask where your own choices have contributed to the pattern. This is not about shame, but about responsibility that empowers you to shift direction. There is also a spiritual dimension to what is forming around your house. Negative thoughts, fear-filled conversations, and constant criticism create an environment where peace struggles to breathe. When your home becomes saturated with anxiety and anger, it weakens unity. Invite my presence deliberately and often, because light displaces darkness without struggle. You must be careful not to let pride keep you from apologizing where you have been wrong. A sincere apology can dismantle walls that months of silence have built. Refusing to humble yourself may seem like strength, but it can trigger consequences that feel irreversible later. Humility today prevents heartbreak tomorrow. If you recognize that I am correcting you out of love and not condemnation, comment 555. I want you to see that this warning is a form of grace. Many walk into disaster without any inner alarm or guidance. You are hearing my voice because I desire to spare you from regret. This is not about punishment, but about protection. The tragedy will lose its path when you realign your priorities. If work has consumed your attention while your family feels unseen, shift your focus before distance becomes permanent. If distractions have replaced meaningful connection, restore intentional time together. The small acts of care you choose now will fortify your house against future strain. Guard your reactions in moments of frustration. A single harsh sentence can echo longer than you imagine. When emotions rise, pause before speaking and ask me to steady your heart. That pause can prevent damage that apologies later cannot fully erase. I also want you to strengthen your spiritual foundation. Pray together if possible, even if it feels awkward at first. Invite gratitude into conversations instead of constant complaint. Gratitude reshapes perspective and disarms negativity. Be mindful of who has access to your private matters. Not every ear is safe for your vulnerabilities. Sharing intimate struggles with those who lack wisdom can invite misunderstanding and gossip. Protect the sacred parts of your household with discernment. The tragedy I warned about thrives in secrecy mixed with denial. If there is something hidden that needs to come into the light, bring it forward carefully and honestly. Secrets grow heavier over time and create cracks in trust. Truth may feel uncomfortable, but it clears the air and strengthens the structure of your home. Do not wait for visible signs of collapse before taking these steps. By the time outward signs appear, internal damage may already be deep. Prevention is far less painful than repair. I am offering you prevention through awareness and direction. You might feel overwhelmed by the idea of addressing everything at once. Remember that obedience does not require perfection in a single day. Start with one step, then another. Consistent small corrections build powerful protection over time. I am also urging you to release fear. Fear can paralyze you into inaction, which is exactly what accelerates the tragedy. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. When you step forward in faith, I strengthen you beyond your own ability. Look at your daily routine and ask where it leads. If your habits continue unchanged for months, what direction will your house move in? That projection reveals the path you are currently on. Adjust now so that your future reflects peace rather than regret. Speak blessings over your home instead of constantly predicting problems. Words carry weight in the spiritual realm. When you declare unity, stability, and protection, you align your household with my promises. Negative declarations, even said casually, can shape expectation and behavior in harmful ways. I am reminding you that you are not destined for tragedy. You are called to stability, growth, and joy. The warning exists because your destiny matters. I am protecting something valuable in your life. If you act with courage and humility, you will see how events shift quietly in your favor. Conflicts that seemed ready to explode will calm. Opportunities that seemed risky will reveal safer alternatives. Relationships that felt strained will soften through honesty. Can just saying 9 words daily actually make money flow into your life? A top neuroscientist says yes, and the FBI accidentally confirmed it. This forgotten prayer is now transforming ordinary people into debt-free and financially free for life. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. The tragedy can still be stopped at the edge of your property, so to speak. It does not have permission to enter unless doors are left open through neglect or stubbornness. Close those doors now through prayer, wise decisions, and sincere reconciliation. I am walking beside you in this process. You are not correcting your path alone. My strength is available for every difficult conversation and every hard decision. Do not let comfort with the familiar keep you in a dangerous pattern. Familiar does not always mean safe. Sometimes growth requires stepping away from what you have tolerated for too long. You are hearing this because I believe in your ability to change course. I would not call you higher if you were incapable of rising. The power to protect your house lies in your willingness to respond. There are attitudes that have been tolerated in your home that are weakening its foundation. Sarcasm that cuts deeper than it appears, impatience that leaves others feeling small, or constant criticism that erodes confidence over time are not harmless habits. These patterns shape the atmosphere of your house more than you think. If left unchanged, they can turn love into distance and unity into silent separation. I am asking you to examine the tone you carry when you walk through your door. Do you bring peace with you, or do you bring stress that fills the room immediately? The energy you release influences everyone under your roof. When you choose calmness and gentleness, you strengthen the walls of your household against future storms. The tragedy I warned about may attempt to enter through division. Division does not begin with hatred, but with small misunderstandings that go unresolved. When pride prevents you from clarifying what was meant, assumptions grow and harden. I want you to break that cycle by seeking clarity instead of silently building resentment. You must also pay attention to how you handle disappointment. When expectations are not met, bitterness can quietly take root. Bitterness changes how you interpret everything that follows. If you allow it to grow, it can twist your perception until even acts of kindness feel suspicious. Release the weight of unspoken frustration before it becomes something heavier. Speak gently and honestly, rather than letting tension simmer beneath the surface. When communication is open, tragedy struggles to find entry. When silence replaces honesty, it finds room to spread. There is also the matter of distraction pulling you away from what truly matters. Endless scrolling, constant busyness, and avoidance of meaningful connection weaken the bonds in your home. Relationships require attention and intention, not leftover energy at the end of the day. Reclaim your focus and invest it where it will build strength instead of emptiness. I see where exhaustion has made you careless in areas that require vigilance. When you are tired, you accept what you would normally challenge. You tolerate disrespect because confronting it feels draining. You postpone important conversations because rest feels more urgent. Rest is important, but avoidance is not restoration. True rest comes when your conscience is clear and your house is in order. Address what needs attention, and then your sleep will be deeper and your mind quieter. Ignoring problems only delays them while they gather strength. The tragedy approaching your house could be a breaking point that surprises you if you continue pretending everything is fine. I do not want you shocked by something that was preventable. I am speaking now so that later you will look back and see that obedience changed everything. If you are ready to guard your home with courage, comment 1010. You must also guard your reactions during moments of stress. Pressure reveals what has been building beneath the surface. If anger erupts easily, it shows that something deeper needs healing. Address that root now before it damages relationships beyond repair. Invite me into your daily rhythm, instead of only seeking me when fear rises. When my presence becomes a consistent part of your home, peace settles in naturally. Daily gratitude, short prayers, and intentional kindness build an atmosphere that resists chaos. The tragedy loses power in a house anchored in steady faith. There may be a decision you are considering that seems financially promising but spiritually unsettling. Do not ignore that unsettled feeling. Quick gain can lead to long strain if it lacks wisdom. I would rather you move slowly in security than rush into something that destabilizes your household. Watch the influence of those who advise you. Not every voice around you understands the weight of what you carry. Advice given without discernment can lead you away from stability. Seek counsel from those who value integrity and peace over excitement and risk. I also want you to protect the trust within your house. Trust once broken is not easily restored. If there are secrets, deceptions, or half-truths lingering, bring them into the light carefully and honestly. Truth may sting briefly, but lies wound deeply over time. You are not being warned because disaster is inevitable. You are being warned because change is possible. The future is not fixed when obedience is still an option. My voice is proof that mercy is active over your home. Be intentional with how you spend your time together. Shared meals, conversations without devices, and small acts of appreciation strengthen bonds that withstand pressure. Neglect creates distance, and distance invites misunderstanding. Choose connection deliberately before separation becomes natural. The tragedy may attempt to exploit weaknesses that you have overlooked for years. What seems minor now can become critical later, if not addressed. Strengthen those weak points with humility and effort. Reinforce your foundation before heavy winds test it. Do not let comparison steal contentment from your home. Envy creates dissatisfaction that poisons gratitude. When you focus on what others have, you risk undervaluing what you already possess. Gratitude anchors you in reality and shields you from unnecessary strain. I am reminding you that your house was meant to be a place of refuge. It was not meant to carry constant tension and unresolved conflict. I am calling you back to that vision. When you align with that purpose, the shadow of tragedy begins to retreat. Why are 55 countries using the same mysterious money script? Because a leaked research file just exposed a 9-word pattern that activates wealth-attracting pathways in the brain. Repeat it daily and watch money flow like water into your life. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. If you feel conviction stirring within you right now, respond to it quickly. Do not silence it with excuses or distractions. That conviction is a protective signal, not an accusation. Acting on it will feel uncomfortable at first, but it will bring peace later. You are capable of shifting the direction of your household. I have placed strength and wisdom within you. Use them intentionally and consistently. Small, faithful steps taken today will block larger sorrow tomorrow. Do not underestimate the power of forgiveness within your home. Holding on to past mistakes keeps wounds open. When you forgive sincerely, you close doors that resentment tries to hold open. Forgiveness restores warmth where cold distance was forming. I am still giving you time, and that time is precious. Do not waste it by assuming everything will fix itself. What is neglected rarely heals on its own. What is confronted with humility often transforms. The tragedy on its way does not have authority over you when you stand in alignment with me. It may approach, but it cannot remain where peace is actively guarded. Close every open door through prayer, wise action, and sincere effort. There is emotional distance growing where closeness once felt natural. You have sensed it in short conversations and forced smiles. When hearts begin to drift apart quietly, the separation often feels sudden only at the end. I am urging you to notice the drift while it is still reversible. Pride has been standing in the way of healing more than you realize. You want to be understood, but you hesitate to understand. You want change from others, but resist change within yourself. This imbalance feeds tension that can eventually snap under pressure. The tragedy I warned you about could come as a moment when someone decides they have endured enough. It could be a decision made in private that leaves you stunned. I do not want you blindsided by something that has been slowly building in plain sight. Address what is fragile before it breaks completely. You must also examine your spiritual consistency. When prayer becomes rare and gratitude fades, the atmosphere of your home shifts subtly. Peace is not automatic, it is cultivated. Invite my presence intentionally instead of assuming it will remain without attention. There are distractions competing for your focus, pulling you away from what truly needs care. Endless tasks and outside demands have crowded out meaningful connection. When the most important relationships receive the least attention, imbalance follows. Restore order by prioritizing what strengthens your household. I see frustration that has been swallowed instead of expressed. That frustration is not disappearing, it is settling beneath the surface. When enough of it accumulates, it can erupt in ways that damage trust deeply. Release it carefully and respectfully before it hardens into bitterness. You must guard your tone in moments of disagreement. Words spoken without restraint can linger in memory long after the argument ends. Choose patience, even when you feel justified in your anger. Patience now prevents regret later. If you are willing to confront what has been uncomfortable to face, comment 999. There is also a financial undercurrent that needs attention. Spending driven by emotion or comparison can quietly destabilize your household. I am not asking you to live in fear, but in wisdom. Careful planning and honest conversation about money will block unnecessary strain. Watch the influences that shape your expectations. Unrealistic standards borrowed from others can create dissatisfaction in your own home. Contentment protects peace. When gratitude is present, comparison loses its grip. The tragedy approaching may attempt to exploit unresolved wounds from your past. Old hurts that were never fully healed can resurface under stress. Take time to address those wounds with honesty and prayer. Healing strengthens you against future pressure. I am also urging you to protect the trust that binds your household together. Even small acts of dishonesty weaken that trust. Transparency may feel vulnerable, but it fortifies connection. Secrets erode what openness builds. There is someone near you who feels unheard. Their silence is not contentment, it is resignation. When someone begins to withdraw emotionally, it signals deeper unrest. Reach out gently and sincerely before distance becomes permanent. You may feel overwhelmed by the thought of addressing all these areas. Remember that change begins with a single step taken in humility. You do not need to solve everything at once. Consistency matters more than speed. The warning I am giving you is not meant to paralyze you with fear. It is meant to awaken you to responsibility. When you respond with courage instead of avoidance, you align your house with protection. Obedience is your shield in this season. Guard your home against constant negativity. Complaints spoken daily create a heavy atmosphere. Replace them with intentional appreciation. Appreciation builds resilience that withstands stress. The tragedy can still be turned away, but you must resist the temptation to minimize what you sense. Ignoring intuition weakens discernment. Acting on conviction strengthens your awareness and sharpens your wisdom. I am guiding you through that inner awareness. You must also pay attention to your own emotional health. If you are running on empty, your reactions will reflect that depletion. Take time to restore yourself in my presence. Strength within you creates stability around you. Do not allow small resentments to accumulate. Address them calmly and respectfully before they multiply. A house filled with unresolved grievances becomes fragile under pressure. A house committed to reconciliation grows stronger with each conflict resolved. What secret did the FBI hide about your brain and money? They discovered a phrase just 9 words long that flips a switch in your mind to attract wealth without effort. It's already changed the lives of thousands of people in just weeks. If you're seeing this, you're lucky the page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. I want you to understand that I am not predicting inevitable loss. I am revealing potential consequences so you can prevent them. Mercy is active right now because I am still speaking. That alone proves that change is possible. Be careful not to let stubbornness delay necessary correction. Admitting where you need growth is not weakness, it is maturity. Growth protects what stubbornness endangers. Choose humility before circumstances force it upon you. There may be conversations you have rehearsed in your mind, but never spoken aloud. Speak them with gentleness and clarity. Silence often magnifies misunderstanding. Honest words, spoken in love, reduce tension and restore balance. I am also calling you to strengthen your spiritual foundation daily. Even brief moments of prayer together anchor your home in peace. Consistent faith builds a barrier that chaos struggles to cross. Make space for that consistency intentionally. If you continue ignoring these adjustments, the tragedy may manifest as sudden fracture that feels unfair and unexpected. I do not want you asking how it happened when the signs were present. Awareness now spares regret later. Remember that you are not alone in making these changes. I am guiding and empowering you. Each obedient step invites my intervention more deeply into your household. Protection increases as alignment increases. Let your home become a place where honesty is welcomed, forgiveness is practiced, and gratitude is spoken daily. That atmosphere weakens every attempt of tragedy to settle there. Light displaces darkness without struggle. You have more influence over the direction of your house than you realize. Your tone, your choices, and your humility shape outcomes profoundly. Use that influence wisely and intentionally. Small, faithful adjustments today will produce stability tomorrow. The warning remains urgent because the window for easy correction does not stay open forever. Act while change is still simple. Do not wait until consequences demand painful repair. Prevention is gentler than recovery. There is a tension in your house that has become so normal that you barely notice it anymore. Short answers, guarded expressions, conversations that stay on the surface. These are not harmless habits, they are warning signs. When connection weakens slowly, collapse can feel sudden. You have been telling yourself that things will settle down on their own. You have hoped that time would fix what effort has not addressed. Time does not heal what is neglected. It often exposes it. The tragedy approaching your house could be a moment of emotional breaking. It could be someone saying they feel alone even while living under the same roof. It could be a decision made out of exhaustion rather than love. I am showing you this now because there is still space to repair what is strained. You must take responsibility for the emotional climate you contribute to. If you walk in carrying irritation from the outside world and release it inside your home, you shift the atmosphere. If you choose gentleness instead of sharpness, you restore balance. Your daily tone carries more weight than you realize. I also see silent fears you have not expressed. Financial worries, insecurities, doubts about the future. When these fears stay hidden, they influence your behavior in subtle ways. Speak about them with honesty so they do not control you from the shadows. The tragedy I warned you about may attempt to enter through isolation. Isolation makes problems grow louder in the mind. When communication stops, assumptions multiply. Reopen conversations before silence becomes permanent. Do not underestimate the power of appreciation in your household. When gratitude is absent, dissatisfaction grows. Speak what you value about those around you. Appreciation softens hearts that are becoming hard. You must guard against emotional withdrawal. Pulling back may feel like protection, but it often creates deeper distance. Stay engaged even when it feels uncomfortable. Presence strengthens bonds that absence weakens. If you are ready to confront what has been quietly building and refuse to let it destroy your home, comment 222. There is also a spiritual battle for the peace of your house. Negative thoughts repeated often become beliefs. Beliefs shape actions, and actions shape outcomes. Replace fearful thinking with trust in my guidance. You may have been tolerating behavior that chips away at respect. Small dismissive remarks or patterns of disregard can erode trust slowly. Address them calmly before they solidify into resentment. Respect restored now prevents separation later. I am also calling you to examine your priorities honestly. If work, entertainment, or outside commitments receive your best energy while your home receives what is left, imbalance will grow. Redirect your focus intentionally. What you nurture flourishes. What you neglect fades. The tragedy approaching your house does not need a dramatic trigger. It can be the result of accumulated neglect. Do not let comfort with routine blind you to necessary change. Stability requires maintenance. There may be forgiveness that has been spoken with words, but not truly embraced in the heart. Unresolved hurt lingers beneath the surface, even after apologies. Seek deeper healing instead of superficial peace. True forgiveness restores warmth and trust. I want you to recognize that correction now is far easier than repair later. When fractures are small, they can be sealed quickly. When they widen, rebuilding becomes painful. Choose prevention while it is still simple. Guard your reactions during conflict carefully. Winning an argument is not worth losing connection. Humility diffuses tension faster than defensiveness. When you choose understanding over pride, you block tragedy at its root. There is someone in your house who needs reassurance more than they admit. Their silence is not strength, it is uncertainty. Offer affirmation without being asked. Security strengthens loyalty. A neuroscientist says yes. A 9-word script, long buried in government files, can fire up a prehistoric brainwave that pulls money in faster. This breakthrough is already under legal pressure and could disappear any second. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. You must also be mindful of how you speak about your home to others. Words of complaint spoken publicly weaken unity privately. Protect your household's dignity. Speak about it with hope and commitment. The tragedy I warned you about could also take the form of emotional burnout. Constant pressure without rest creates cracks. Schedule intentional moments of joy and connection. Shared laughter builds resilience against stress. I am not warning you to create fear, but to inspire action. You are not doomed, you are being guided. The very fact that you are hearing this means mercy is active over your house. Responding with obedience seals that mercy in place. Do not let pride keep you from seeking counsel if needed. Wisdom sometimes comes through trusted guidance. Asking for help is not weakness, it is protection. Isolation magnifies problems that shared insight can solve. Watch the patterns of communication in your home. If sarcasm has replaced sincerity, restore respect. If avoidance has replaced dialogue, initiate conversation. Small shifts in communication create large shifts in atmosphere. The tragedy may attempt to arrive suddenly, but its preparation has been gradual. You are being invited to interrupt that preparation. Interrupt it with honesty. Interrupt it with prayer. Interrupt it with humility. Strengthen your spiritual discipline intentionally. Even brief moments of prayer together anchor your house in peace. Consistency builds a covering that stress struggles to penetrate. Make room for that covering daily. You are not powerless in this situation. Your decisions right now carry weight for months and years ahead. Do not treat this season casually. It is a crossroads disguised as routine. If you choose to act, the outcome will look very different from what could have been. Tension will soften. Stability will grow. What once felt fragile will regain strength. The warning remains urgent because delay increases risk. Act while relationships are still salvageable with simple effort. Act before silence hardens into distance. Act before stress turns into rupture. I am walking beside you in every adjustment you make. My presence strengthens your courage and steadies your emotions. You are capable of protecting your house because I am guiding you. Do not assume tomorrow will offer easier circumstances. Tomorrow reflects what you choose today. Choose wisely. Choose humility. Choose connection. What was moving toward your house as tragedy can still be turned aside completely. It does not have authority when you align your actions with my guidance. Your obedience changes outcomes. I want to go even deeper with you now, because the surface corrections are not enough if the roots remain untouched. The tragedy I warned you about is tied to patterns that began long before this week or this month. Some of them were formed years ago, and you have carried them quietly into your home without realizing their weight. I am asking you to be brave enough to look at those roots. There are reactions you learned long ago that no longer serve you. When you feel criticized, you shut down. When you feel pressured, you become sharp. When you feel afraid, you try to control everything around you. These responses may have protected you once, but now they threaten the peace of your house. The tragedy on its way to your house feeds on those old patterns. It grows stronger each time you react automatically instead of intentionally. I am not condemning you for how you learn to survive. I am calling you to a higher way of living that protects not just you, but everyone under your roof. You must slow down your reactions and examine them. Ask yourself why certain words trigger such strong emotions. Notice where your tone shifts without you intending it. Awareness is the first step in breaking cycles that could otherwise damage your home. There is also a deeper issue of trust that needs healing. If you constantly expect disappointment, you will interpret neutral situations as threats. That constant tension creates distance. I am inviting you to rebuild trust through transparency and consistency. The tragedy I warned you about could appear as a moment when someone feels they cannot reach you anymore. Emotional unavailability is just as destructive as loud conflict. When someone stops trying to connect, it signals deep discouragement. Do not let that moment arrive without effort to prevent it. I need you to be intentional about listening. Listening without planning your response. Listening without defending yourself immediately. When people feel heard, walls lower. When they feel dismissed, walls rise quickly. There is also an undercurrent of fatigue affecting your judgment. You have been carrying responsibilities quietly, and that burden is wearing on you. Exhaustion makes everything feel heavier and every conflict feel larger. Take time to rest in my presence so your perspective becomes clear again. Do not allow stress from outside your home to dictate the atmosphere inside it. Work pressure, financial strain, or outside opinions should not control how you treat those closest to you. Separate external stress from internal connection. Your house should be a place of restoration, not overflow of tension. If you are willing to break old patterns so your home can thrive, comment 1515. I also want you to examine where pride has prevented apology. You may feel justified in certain reactions, but justification does not always equal wisdom. A simple apology can dissolve days of tension. Refusing to humble yourself can extend conflict far longer than necessary. The tragedy approaching your house may not look dramatic at first. It may look like gradual emotional distance. It may look like parallel lives lived under one roof. That slow drift is just as serious as a sudden rupture. You must protect shared time deliberately. Meals eaten separately, evenings spent in separate rooms, constant distraction by devices all weaken connection slowly. Reclaim moments of presence. Presence builds safety. Could your brain be the reason you're still broke? Scientists just confirmed a 9-word sentence hidden deep in your subconscious may be blocking money from your life. But now you can reverse it. Say these 9 words and wealth starts to follow you starting today. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. Guard your assumptions carefully. When you assume motives without clarification, resentment grows quickly. Ask for clarity instead of filling gaps with fear. Clarity disarms misunderstanding. There may also be unresolved disappointment that you have not processed fully. Disappointment unspoken becomes quiet resentment. Quiet resentment shapes behavior subtly. Address disappointment with honesty before it distorts your view of those you love. I am also urging you to strengthen your spiritual rhythm. Pray not only when conflict arises, but when peace is present. Gratitude spoken during calm seasons fortifies you for difficult ones. Consistency builds stability. The tragedy can still be stopped because you are not at the breaking point yet. You are at the warning point. Warning is mercy in action. It gives you the chance to choose differently. Watch how you speak during stress. If your words become cutting when you feel overwhelmed, slow down. Words once spoken cannot be retrieved. Choose restraint when emotions surge. You may also need to forgive yourself for past mistakes. Carrying guilt quietly can make you defensive. When you release guilt to me, you respond with greater calm and patience. Inner peace strengthens outer relationships. The atmosphere of your home is shaped daily by small habits. Encouragement strengthens it. Criticism weakens it. Kindness reinforces it. Neglect erodes it. There is someone near you who needs reassurance but does not know how to ask. Their silence is not indifference. It is uncertainty about whether they matter. Speak affirmation intentionally. The tragedy I warned you about loses momentum each time you choose humility over pride. It retreats when you choose patience over anger. It weakens when you choose communication over silence. You must also guard against comparison. Looking at other families and measuring your own against them creates dissatisfaction. Every house has its own journey. Focus on nurturing what you have. I am reminding you that your home is worth protecting fiercely. Do not treat small fractures casually. Reinforce them now while repair is simple. There may be hard conversations ahead, but hard does not mean harmful. Hard conversations handled with respect create healing. Avoided conversations create distance. If you delay correction because everything seems stable on the surface, you risk facing deeper pain later. Stability without maintenance is fragile. Maintenance now preserves peace. You are not alone in this process. I am strengthening your heart to act wisely. I am softening your spirit to respond gently. My presence is guiding every adjustment you make. Do not let fear of conflict keep you silent. Silence can be more destructive than disagreement. Speak with calm courage. The tragedy approaching your house does not have authority over you. It relies on neglect and pride to enter. Remove those entry points, and it has no place to settle. Choose today to interrupt cycles that have followed you for years. Choose to build new patterns, rooted in patience and respect. Small changes repeated daily create powerful transformation. I am still warning you, because I see the future that can be avoided. I desire stability, laughter, and warmth in your house. I desire unity instead of regret. Act while there is still softness in hearts. Act while conversations can still be gentle. Act while correction is still light. Now I need you to pay attention to something even more subtle. The tragedy I warned you about is not only connected to behavior and communication, it is connected to what you have allowed to remain unresolved in your own heart. A divided heart creates a divided house. When you are internally unsettled, that unrest spreads quietly into every room. There are disappointments you never fully grieved. You pushed them aside and told yourself to stay strong. Strength without healing becomes hardness. Hardness creates distance. The tragedy approaching your house feeds on that internal distance. When your heart is guarded, connection feels risky. When connection feels risky, you withhold vulnerability. Over time, withheld vulnerability turns into emotional separation. I am asking you to let me heal what you have been pretending no longer hurts. Old betrayal, past rejection, failures you still replay in your mind. Those wounds shape how you respond today. Healing them protects your house tomorrow. You must stop pretending that silence equals peace. Silence often hides tension that no one wants to confront. True peace is built on honesty and restoration. Anything else is temporary, calm before disruption. The tragedy I warned you about could manifest as someone in your house finally voicing years of quiet pain. It could come as a statement that shocks you because you believed everything was fine. I do not want that moment to catch you unprepared. I want you attentive now. Look at how you respond when someone brings up a concern. If you immediately defend yourself, you shut down progress. If you listen first and speak later, you open space for healing. Listening is protection. There may also be spiritual dryness affecting your discernment. When you drift from consistent connection with me, your clarity weakens. Decisions made without prayer often carry unintended consequences. Restore your daily connection so your judgment sharpens again. You must also examine the habits that numb you. Constant distraction, overworking, or escaping into entertainment may seem harmless. Over time, they replace meaningful presence. Presence is the glue that holds your house together. If you are ready to invite deeper healing so your home remains strong, comment 1717. I want you to recognize how small disrespect accumulates. A tone that belittles, a joke that cuts too deep, a pattern of dismissing feelings. These moments may seem minor, but they slowly erode trust. Trust once weakened makes tragedy easier to enter. The tragedy approaching your house does not require dramatic betrayal. It can grow from emotional neglect. When someone feels unseen long enough, they begin to detach. Detachment is often the final stage before fracture. You must also be careful with unspoken expectations. When you expect others to read your mind, disappointment becomes inevitable. Speak your needs clearly and kindly. Clarity prevents resentment. There is also the matter of spiritual leadership within your home. If you have been passive in guiding the atmosphere, step forward gently but firmly. Pray aloud. Set a tone of gratitude. Create moments of reflection. Why did 19,583 people suddenly become financially free last month? They all discovered a strange sentence, just 9 words long, buried in neuroscience research, and once hidden by the FBI. Now they're paying off debt, traveling the world, and living in homes they never thought they could afford. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. The tragedy can still be stopped because you are not beyond correction. You are at a crossroads where humility determines outcome. Pride would lead you to ignore this warning. Humility will lead you to transformation. You may need to acknowledge where your own fears have caused control. Control often masquerades as protection. In reality, it suffocates trust. Release what you cannot manage and focus on what you can influence with love. Guard your house against cynicism. When sarcasm replaces sincerity, emotional safety weakens. Speak words that build rather than tear down. Words create atmosphere. There is someone in your home who feels they must be strong all the time. They are carrying more than you realize. Offer support before they collapse under silent pressure. Support strengthens unity. The tragedy I warned you about is weakened every time you choose compassion over irritation. It retreats when you prioritize connection.